Hey everyone, welcome. If you've ever written, more than just a couple lines of Python, I guarantee you've run into this problem. Today we're going to master a core skill that totally solves it, typecasting. So let's just dive right in.
So let me ask you this. What happens when your data is in the wrong format? We've all been there, right? You're trying to add two values together and bam, your code just grinds to a halt with a type error. It's honestly one of the most common hurdles for any programmer, and today we're going to learn exactly how to clear it, no problem.
Okay, check this out. This is the problem in a nutshell. On the left side, you've got 5 plus 10. Python looks at that and says, easy, that's 15. No problem at all. But then look at the right. It sees the number 5 and the text 10. See the quotes? To Python, you can't mathematically add a number and a word. It just doesn't make sense, so it throws an error. So, how do we fix this?
Well, the solution is a really simple but incredibly powerful technique called casting. This is how we take back control. It's how we tell Python exactly what type of data it's working with, and that lets us stop those frustrating errors before they even happen.
So what is it exactly? Well, casting is just the process of specifying a variable's data type. We use these special functions, they're called constructor functions, to basically tell Python, hey, I know this looks like text, but I need you to treat it like a whole number. It's kind of like giving your data a brand new identity.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? It's time to meet the tools of the trade. Seriously, think of these as your core toolkit for any kind of data conversion in Python. There are 3 essential functions you are going to use constantly. First up, we have int. Its whole job is to create integers. Just plain old whole numbers. No decimal points. You can feed it another integer, a float, or even a string as long as that string actually looks like a whole number.
Next up is float. This is your go-to whenever you need numbers that have decimal points. It's pretty flexible, actually. It can take an integer, another float, or a string and just cleanly turn it into what's called a floating point number.
And finally, there's string. Now, this one is the most versatile of the bunch. It can turn almost anything, integers, floats, you name it, into a text string. This is absolutely essential when you want to create messages to show a user, like printing your final score is, and then the actual number.
All right, enough theory. The best way to really get a handle on these tools is to just see them in action. So let's look at some real code and see exactly what happens when we use each of these functions. Okay, let's start with int. As you'd expect, int of 1 just stays 1. And the string 3, yep, that correctly becomes the number 3, but look really closely at that middle example. Int of 2.8 becomes 2. Notice that? It's not rounding. This is a super critical detail to understand. Oh, and a quick heads up, if you try to cast something that doesn't look like a number, like say int of hello, Python's going to get confused and raise a value.
And this right here is the #1 key takeaway for int. It always truncates, okay? That means it just chops off the decimal part. It completely ignores it. It does not round ever. So int 2.8 is 2, and even int 2.9999 is still just 2. Seriously, remembering this one rule will save you from so many headaches down the road. Now for float, honestly, this one is a lot more straightforward. An integer like 1 becomes 1.0. A float like 2.8 just stays 2.8. And it handles strings exactly how you'd hope, turning 3 into 3.0 and 4.2 into 4.2. See? Clean and simple.
And last but not least, string conversion. It just does its job perfectly. The number 2 becomes the text character 2, and the float 3.0 becomes the string 3.0. Again, this is exactly what you need when you want to mix numbers with text for display.
Okay. You've seen the tools, you've seen the examples, now it's time for a quick challenge, just to make sure this whole concept really sticks. Let's test what you've learned.
All right, here's the challenge. The code is print int 35.88. Now, based on that one crucial rule we talked about for the int function, what is Python going to print to the screen? Think about it for a second.
And the answer is 35. If you got that, you have absolutely nailed the most important concept here. Remember, int doesn't round. It truncates. It just chops off that 0.88 and gives us the whole number 35. Nicely done. So let's just do a quick wrap-up with the key takeaways. First, casting is your secret weapon for changing a variable's type whenever you need to. Second, your 3 main tools are int, float, and str. And finally, the big one, the rule to burn into your memory. int always truncates. It never rounds.
And that's pretty much it for Python typecasting. You now have a fundamental tool that will help you prevent errors and really control the data in your programs. So, the only question left is, now that you can control your data types, what problems are you going to solve first? Thanks for joining me.